We are currently in line, rocking, to go to our event. I don't know how you can see, but there's a huge line coming out the door, and the event starts when, Caramello?
At 5, no, at 7, but at 5 was when they let us enter and breathe the same air as my favorite author.
So, if we look, my watch is too blurred. If you were to look at a clock, it is just under 5:15, and the line is already out here. And it still continues to go on past that way, so we are currently waiting to go get our stuff. And the main thing that we found out was that as part of this event, you get these free t-shirts if you're one of the first people to sign in. So you have to decide whether you want a Camp Passport shirt or a Camp Shopper. I don't know which one yet. I'm still a bit on the fence. I'm leaning towards Camp Passport. So, Caramello, how has your day at the museum been so far?
Awesome. First, I went to the Egyptian section and I found this awesome crocodile, and I liked the patterns on it, so I copied that down real quick. And I found a lot of other little patterns and shapes and like figures that I really liked. And then I saw a statue of Sekhmet, and I thought that was awesome because I'm writing a story, and she's one of the pivotal characters in it. And then we went towards the Greek section, and I liked these two figures that were on this like sarcophagus, not sarcophagus. I read them.
Cremation?
No, I already read them. But it was a hippogriff and a griffin, and I loved hippogriffs and griffins, but I'm going to use them somehow. I don't know how. And then I liked a couple of poses, and there was a lot of cool textural things, and then there was a statue of Aphrodite. So I did a quick doodle, because I like the fabric. There's a lot of stuff to learn here.
We should come again.
I am going to come again. I've always wanted to. I don't know why we never did.
I don't know either. I'd like to go to some of the other museums here in town too, because I've never been.
I've been to a couple of the other ones here, but I never went to this one, and I don't know why. Why not?
So, your interview question time. What has been your favorite part, or what was your experience coming to the museum today?
The museum was quite interesting. Man, I don't know how long it's been since I've actually been to a museum. Wait, we can't use our real names, can we?
It's up to you.
How do you pronounce it?
Caramello. Caramello. Yeah.
Caramello. I randomly doodle crappy pictures, though.
There's not crappy. I like your alligator.
My alligator. Here's his normal face. Here's his shoujo face. Here's some guy that was like, oh, I'm so bored with life. That's really good.
It is really good, though.
And then there's this random stork I saw. I was like, I have to draw the stork. But my favorite...
With a man legs.
There was this dude, and it was a very blurry picture, but he was just like, don't judge me, I'm Stefan Kaiba. And then there's this one statue where he was like lifting his little leotard, is like, see anything you like this, sweetheart? And this guy was right next to him, like, yeah, I approve.
So all in all, a good day so far.
Good day, and plus, I'm going to get some Mooney Mages cupcakes.
Yes, cupcakes after. Sadly, Rockin, you're not here for cupcakes. I'm going to attempt to make a bigger batch tonight.
And I'm going to eat them all.
Yeah. Good time. So here we are in the tent, because it's outside. All these people, and there's more coming from that way, all to get a chance to see Mr. Riordan. And then, here's my book. There you go, yeah, buddy. And then look. It's been autographed. Yeah. We also got some new sticky shirts, but I put mine away. Caramello, show me your shirt.
Hold on.
Your awesome.
I'm trying to sit down.
Your awesome shirt.
Cool out of my shirt. You will fit in that cup holder.
So we got our book.
You can say colors.
Yeah, Woody, Camp Half-Blood, and then we've seen the back that at Camp Jupiter. I got Camp Half-Blood, but it's in my bag. So we're waiting to see for the mark of Athena.
So I saw some hands when I was asking about the young writers. So I bet we have a lot of readers out there, but we got some writers too? All right. Okay, so young writers, let me ask you something about that. What is it easier to write about? Is it easier to write about stuff that actually happened to you, or would you prefer just to make it up? Okay, how many would say make it up? That's what I thought. Okay. You know why I asked? I grew up here in San Antonio. I went to school here too. And I knew from a really early age that I wanted to be a writer, but I didn't know what to write about. And I used to talk to my teachers, and I would say, okay, so I want to write. What should I write? They always told me the same thing. All the teachers said, Rick, write about what you know. I hated that. Because the thing was, I didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't want to write about just being a kid growing up in San Antonio. To me, that wasn't anything special. I wanted to make up stuff. Ever since I was young, though, I knew that I wanted to be some kind of writer. I wanted to tell stories. Let's see if I can find the right button here. All right. Do we have a computer guy back there? Oh, hey, there we go. All right. Hey, there I am. That's me when I grew up in San Antonio as a little guy. The first storyteller that I remember in my family was my grandfather, who was named the Colonel. That's what we always called him. Let's see. Can I just point to you and have you guys advance slides? Is that cool? Oh, yeah. Excellent. And the Colonel, there's a picture of him. There's him with me as a baby. And he used to sit me on his lap, and he would tell me stories. He had this big briefcase full of blank paper, and he would just draw pictures and make up stories off the top of his head. And I didn't know how he did that. It was like magic. And I thought to myself, someday I want to do that with my kids. I want to make up stories for them. My parents were also great storytellers. There's my mom and dad, and there's me in my Texas A&M onesie, because that's where they both went. I went to UT, so it balanced out, you know. Anyway, they were both great storytellers, and my dad actually was the first one who told me mythology. He got me interested in Native American tales and all of that. So I knew what I wanted to write, but I didn't know what to write about. I wasn't a very good reader. It wasn't until I was in 8th grade, and there's me in 8th grade, and that was the first year that I found something I liked to read just for myself, and that was The Lord of the Rings. Love that series. Fortunately for me, when I was at Alamo Heights Junior School in 8th grade, and here's a picture of me in 8th grade, I had a teacher who got me interested in mythology. Yeah, check out the hair. And she said, Rick, if you like Lord of the Rings, did you know that that's based on Norse mythology? And I said, what is Norse mythology? She said, well, let's read some. So we read all about the gods and the monsters, and we went from there into Greek mythology. And I loved it so much that I started writing stories for her class. The first one I remember writing was called Appointment with an Archangel. It was about this guy who dies and goes to heaven, and he has a conversation with an angel. I showed it to her. She said, Rick, this is really good. You should try to get this published. And I was like, you can do that? She said, well, we can try. She helped me to submit it to a magazine. I waited for 2 months, and finally, this arrived in the mail. That's my first rejection note. Yeah, no. And you can see it's so old that it's not done on the computer because we didn't have computers. It's typed on a typewriter on carbon paper with all the mistakes X'd through. The editor was very nice. He said, Dear Rick, for somebody who's 13, this is a really good story. We can't use it. It's not exactly science fiction. But keep trying. My mom was so proud that I got rejected. She put this in a frame and she hung it in the living room, and I had to look at it every time I walked to breakfast in the morning. And true story, when I went off to college, my mom's house burned down in a huge fire. Everything was destroyed. Except that. I kid you not, they pulled the letter out of the fire, totally fine, put it back in a frame, rebuilt the house, and it's still hanging in her living room. Rejection is a powerful thing.
My question is, when approaching well-known characters like Zeus or Athena, did the mythology behind them ever become overwhelming?
It can. It certainly can. And the thing about the mythology is that there's so many versions of the story that I have to pick the one I like the best. Sometimes people will ask, well, why did you do that? That's not what my book said. You know, why did you get that wrong? And I have to say, well, it's not really that I got it wrong. It's that there's 14 different versions, and I had to just pick the version I like. It's not like there's only one version of who Zeus was. So in a way that helped, because I could pick the pieces that I like. Everything about the mythology, I try to keep it very accurate, but I do get to pick and choose among the stories.